I think that the day trading aspect, I've always said this, I think that in the near future, we're going to enter into a digital asset space where certain assets, I can't speak for all of them, but certain utility driven assets, and you guys most likely know which ones I'm talking about, are going to decouple from the rest of the traditional financial asset classes. And we're going to see a super cycle where, yeah, we're probably going to experience intraday pullbacks, but if you zoom out over the next, I don't know, maybe year to 3 years, give or take some massive liquidations events when regulation comes into play, it's going to look like a hockey stick. This market's just going to go up because of mass adoption. When one financial institution starts using digital assets, once the regulatory green light comes into play, if you read any document, they all tell you this. They all say that once one financial institution uses these digital assets, they're going to have to adopt or fall behind.
Based on the Basel regulations or other regulatory capital requirements. So suddenly, if one institution has a much higher return on equity because they only need to allocate 12% to that asset rather than 100%, everyone will follow, because otherwise they'll have a lower return on equity. So I think that's going to come very, very quickly and will be a motivating factor for everyone to pile in.
They're going to have to take advantage of the fast and efficient way of doing things, or nobody's going to want to use their services because there's going to be other services out there that are much more faster and much more efficient. So it's going to be very interesting to see, at the end. Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CyberX video banger. In today's video, we're going to confirm some things that we've been discussing in previous video breakdowns. Like, we are going through a massive digital transformation, the fourth industrial revolution, that everybody should be paying attention to take advantage of massive amounts of opportunities that are readily available to each and every single one of us, that these financial institutions, if they do not adapt, know for a fact that they will fall behind. We're going to confirm that in today's video breakdown. And we're just going to dive into some fundamental pieces that never make the mainstream, confirming that the financial industry as a whole is changing hands. Now, real quick, before we jump into the video breakdown, I want to remind you all that over on the Rumble platform, if you guys don't follow us on Rumble, it's at CyberX Uncensored in the Rumble search bar. I'm going to be hosting a podcast on a weekly basis with Mr. Aquaman. If you don't follow his content on X and on TikTok, you definitely should. He covers some very deep, intricate topics on the digital transformation and the world economy as a whole. So make sure that you guys head over to Rumble and check us out. We're going to be dropping video breakdowns and podcasts every single weekend moving forward on the Rumble platform. So if you all enjoy these video breakdowns, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button. We're going to be going over some fundamental pieces and playing some video clips throughout the entirety of this video breakdown. Shout out to Crypto Navigator. He hosted me on his platform just a couple of days ago, and on his live stream, listen and take a second to what it is that I say again, and then I'm going to show you all some supporting evidence backing some of the things that I said in this video breakdown. I think that the day trading aspect, I've always said this, I think that in the near future, we're going to enter into a digital asset space where certain assets, I can't speak for all of them, but certain utility driven assets, and you guys most likely know which ones I'm talking about, are going to decouple from the rest of the traditional financial asset classes. And we're going to see a super cycle. So one of the things that I said was that, in my personal opinion, we are going to enter into a super cycle. We're going to enter into a massive era of upwards trajectory.
At the beginning of Q3 last year, my team and I noticed a new pattern emerging, a technology supercycle. Now, a supercycle is actually an economic term that basically means an extended period of booming demand that elevates the prices of commodities and assets to unprecedented heights. It stretches across years, sometimes it'll stretch across decades, and create substantial and sustained changes in the economy. So again, an example, industrial revolution. Industrial revolution.
As well. We're in the midst of what I'd argue is the fourth industrial revolution, right? If the first one was steam power and the second was electric, and those really changed the pace and scale of human production.
If you zoom out and you look at this market space, i.e. Web3 technology, artificial intelligence, digital assets as a whole over the next 5 to 10 years, looking back, compared to where we are at now, we have to understand we are in a really early stage where financial institutions all across the board have not even allocated any capital into this market yet.
This right now is the beginning of the normie, traditional corporate world adoption of Web3, blockchain, crypto, digital assets, whatever you want to call it. It's happening now. At the end of the last bear phase, we didn't have hundreds of companies like trying to figure out how to like incorporate NFTs into their business model. Now you've got Adidas and LVMH and Nike and all these giant companies on that end. You've got Franklin Templeton and Fidelity and BlackRock. I mean, the buying hasn't happened yet, but they put down their stake and they've said to the people in Washington, listen, we control trillions of dollars of assets. Okay, we want an ETF. All right, so that's great, but that's just a conduit for capital. Can you imagine what's going to happen when the people at those institutions understand that that is just the very beginning?
With that being said, another thing that I mentioned is that these financial institutions, if they do not adapt, know for a fact that they will fall behind. So once one financial institution adopts this technology, they will all start to adopt this technology. Let me show you a beautiful example of that. So over here on my X profile, I posted this. Lloyds Bank Group confirms an emerging risk scenario would be if banks don't adopt new blockchain technologies. Check this out. Okay, this is an updated document that was put out in 2023. Lloyds Banking Group. Here you can see them mentioning emerging and horizon risks to be paying attention to. Digital currencies and tokenization. Failure to keep pace with the potential expansion of decentralized financial systems. Generative AI and ethical data practices, failure to keep pace with technological advancements relating to the generative AI machine learning. Here it also talks about failure to adequately prepare for the aggregate threat posed by cyber attacks. So they're literally telling you all in advance that these financial institutions that don't keep pace with the digital currencies, that don't keep pace with generative AI will fall behind. And remember I said in Crypto Navigator's stream that he had, these financial institutions know this to be a fact.
The foundational technology, I spend no time on the currency side. The foundational technology, we believe, is going to completely change worldwide supply chains. Our president, CEO, founder, now executive founder, Fred Smith, was on stage in New York City in early 2018, simply making statements like that. We think it's going to completely change worldwide supply chains. If you're not operating at the edge of innovation or technology, you need to be prepared to be commoditized or potentially to become extinct.
The thing you also have to realize is this. The ball's in your court. You need to either embrace it or left behind.
And now check this out. Fast forward, what did we see in February? Lloyds Bank partnering with WaveBL, right? Here you can see that screenshot, February 26, 2024. Lloyds Bank forges UK's first trade digitalization partnership with WaveBL, right? Now to read this post in its entirety, WaveBL, who's partnered with Singapore's IMDA and launched a network to finance MLETR compliant digital trade, which includes XDC as mentioned in the Global Trade Review. Here you can see the XDC network, a hybrid blockchain built for trade finance, has integrated with Infocom Media Development Authority's IMDA Trade Trust and launched an initiative to enable the creation and financing of model law on electronic trade records. I cannot stress enough, this is literally physical proof as to what I said on Crypto Navigator's live call, letting you know that these financial institutions know that if they do not adopt these technologies, they will fall behind. And here you can see, right, Lloyds Bank, Lloyds Bank in 2023 put out a piece saying literally exactly that, that if they do not keep up with digital currencies and artificial intelligence, they will fall behind. And then fast forward to 2024, you can see they integrated. They're taking a digital transformation step, right? Wow. Okay. I'm telling you guys, you got to start to pay attention to detail. We're not making this up. This is not conspiracy theory. This is all happening, but this is, again, all information that you're never going to see on the mainstream. So do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Now, I thought that this was interesting, right? Spring member meeting will bring together the FPC members for 2 days filled with presentations on the most pressing issues in faster payments and panel discussions with industry experts. So what is the FPC? Again, the Faster Payments Council. We know via the Federal Reserve, right? FPC 2024 spring meeting coming up March 27th through the 28th. And we know who's a part of the FPC. You can see right here, Ripple, right? Obviously, of course, a member of the FPC. Now, very interesting, we can see what they're going to be talking about. Digital payments, digital assets, right? Adopting distributed ledger technology for digital assets can provide the benefit of transparency, reduced settlement times, and lower processing costs. As financial institutions begin their foray into the use of DLT, many are evaluating where to begin incorporating this technology into their processing environment. So they are confirming that these financial institutions are beginning their journey into the use of distributed ledger technology, right? Very interesting to say the least. And you can see, again, they're all coming together to discuss and talk about these topics. This is never going to make the mainstream. This is taking place literally next week, right? So there are ongoing developments happening behind the scenes. I cannot stress enough, now is the time to be paying attention. Since we're on the topic of Ripple, here you can see Horizon 3 market leaders. This was put out by the HFS Horizons report. This is from September 2023, so it's not too outdated, more recent. The HFS Enterprise Blockchain Services value chain. Now, look at what it talks about. It talks about leading use cases, the metaverse, Web3, decentralized finance, ecosystem enablement, cryptocurrency, stablecoins. You guys can see all the things that we've been attempting to tell you guys to be studying. And here you can see private blockchains. What does it mention? It mentions Ripple right down here in the bottom right-hand corner.
We'll talk about maybe the cross-border, right? The interoperability side. I like what you said, it's already digital, right? So it's already interoperable in some ways. Now, what are these BRIC countries going to do with their new currency? I tend to say good luck. Let's see how the thesis plays out. But if you're going to try to get, like the UAE has a very large exchange, the UAE exchange. They even use the Ripple technology, right? And so that's been, like the UAE has a very large exchange. The UAE exchange. They even use the Ripple technology, right?
Ripple, again, playing a massive role in these new and emerging upcoming trends. Now, here it says, we assess 14 providers of enterprise blockchain services across value propositions, execution, and innovative capabilities, go-to-market strategy, and market impact criteria. We identified the following Horizon 3 market leaders: Accenture, I'm not going to butcher that one, EY, Infosys, and IBM. Now, we know Accenture is a Ripple partner, and we know IBM is a partner with Casper Network, right? So just be paying attention. Here it mentions and confirms some of the things that I've been talking about. The enterprise blockchain market is rapidly changing. Economic headwinds are forcing, see that terminology right there, forcing enterprises to prioritize investments with a faster return on investments, which is not typical of blockchain. Meanwhile, innovation is transforming the market. Public blockchains continue to win favor, and the emergence of Web3 and Metaverse has created a new category of blockchain-fueled initiatives. So we're seeing them migrate over to this new digital way of doing things.
For institutions like the panelists or the companies represented here in the panel, and we have seen how the traditional institutions have been catching up in crypto and learning how to. And we have seen how the traditional institutions have been catching up in crypto and learning how to operate and what can be the potential or the importance of this technology, and answering to your question.
Now, to confirm in this breakdown on Crypto Navigator's YouTube profile, what I said, that we are early, we're in the early stages. Here's to confirm that. I know that people hate hearing that, but this is, again, just to solidify that perspective. Here you can see, this is a list of countries with the national blockchain roadmap as of February 2024. There's literally only freaking 9 countries, ladies and gentlemen, that have an official national blockchain roadmap. That just goes to show how early we are. We don't even have major jurisdictions on here like the United States or Brazil or anything like that, right? This is just 9, okay? So just take that into consideration, and to further the long-term perspective in this market that I feel like every investor should have. And remember, investor, there's a difference between investor and day trader. If you're looking for short-term gains, you're looking for the next meme coin hype, you're looking for XRP to rally to $100 tomorrow, you are a trader. You're looking for those short, quick fixes, those lottery gains. You're not here for the long term. I'm specifically dialing into the long-term investors here. We can see this is an IBM AI roadmap, and we can see them mentioning things like, get ready, we're just getting started. We can see them giving out a AI roadmap going all the way up till 2030, mentioning things like AI systems will start exhibiting aspects of biblical intelligence. I mean, wow.
So just imagine, today, right now, this is the worst that our technology will ever be. Look, this is an exhilarating time to be alive. Artificial intelligence is the present, right? It's here.
The transformation that we are going through right now is insane. And just look at the dates, look at the timestamps, and again, fulfilling that 2030 agenda. This is a long-term vision, ladies and gentlemen. This should be a long-term investment strategy if you're coming into this space in the now, in the early stages. We're in 2024. Look at how many more years we have on this roadmap ahead of development, of ongoing transformation, right?
Which makes this a technology supercycle. These three general purpose technologies already connect in some way to every other technology that exists. It connects to science, it connects to space, it connects to sports, to every business, to every single person sitting in this room, to every facet of our daily lives. Which means that the wave of innovation that's coming is so intense and so potent and so pervasive, it will literally reshape our human existence in ways that I think are exciting and good and absolutely terrifying.
So just take that into consideration. I hope that this video breakdown in a nutshell confirms some of the things that we've talked about publicly, which is that these financial institutions know that if they do not adopt, they will fall behind. And once one does, they all will. Right? That we're in the early stages. We're still in a nascent asset class that is up and emerging. Regulations haven't even been solidified yet. Major freaking jurisdictions all over the world haven't even solidified a blockchain roadmap yet, right? So just take those things into consideration moving forward. Make sure that you're out there doing research. I cannot stress enough. Now is the time to take advantage of these opportunities when the market is heavily discounted, when things are uncertain, when everybody's fearful. Now is the time for you to rise up. As always, many blessings. Be cognizant, be aware. Don't forget that over on the Rumble platform, myself and Mr. Aquaman are going to start to host a weekend podcast. So make sure that you tune in by going and following us over on the Rumble platform. We're going to be talking about things that most likely would get censored on other platforms like Spotify, like YouTube. So we're not going to be able to put it on YouTube. With that being said, go follow us over on Rumble so that way you can tap into some of the information that myself and Mr. Aquaman provide. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.